Good morning.
Good morning, young sir. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Good to see you again.
Fighting a cold here. How you guys doing, sir? This morning.
Okay.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, Council's Brian Williams. And he comes with his own paparazzi materials.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Okay, Brian, we hope that the next 15 minutes will be a kind of a friendly interview for you. The objective here is for the council to get to know you a little bit and help us fill a vacancy in District 3.
Okay.
You'll have 15 minutes to answer about a question from each member of council. Questions are designed to get a sense about you. All the activity here this morning is being videotaped and will be on Bowie Cable TV following the conclusion of all the interviews. So nobody will get any advantages, but we are a very transparent organization, so we just want to make sure everybody sees that. Your 15 minutes will begin with the first question. I would suggest to you that you'll have questions from each person here. So time discipline is a matter for you to consider as you go through answering each question. And then at the end, we'll give you an opportunity to leave whatever thought behind that you would like. So with that, the first question will be for Mr. Wolfley.
Okay. And again, guys, please excuse me if I'm fighting a cold all week. My eyes and my voice is...
You're not the only one in the room that has a problem this morning.
Well, welcome. I'm particularly sympathetic. I am suffering myself at the moment, too. So thank you for coming in. Thank you for volunteering your time for this morning and potentially for serving the community.
Thank you.
The question I have for you is, to date, how have you chosen to serve the city of Bowie? For example, have you served on city committees, run for office, been on HOA, PTA, or the like? And how will that help you represent your constituents?
Great question, and you guys can see from my bio. I moved to the Bowie area in 2007. I'm very active in the community. I've been coaching youth sports with South Bowie Boys and Girls Club since my son was 4 and he's now 10. I do a lot of volunteering at Northview Elementary School. I started a mentoring program there 3 years ago, and I've been working with the youth there. I go and speak with the kids in the classes. I also serve on the City of Bowie, appointed by you guys, the Community Recreation Committee with Sherry Beach, where we help make decisions and give informed thoughts or opinions on things such as the ice skating rink or what we're going to do about the new basketball arena that we'd like to build in the future. And so from a standpoint of, from a community, I'm well known in the Bowie area by parents and kids. I know kids can't vote, but I think if I went on the kid vote, I'd win by a landslide. But again, just being active in the community since 2007, again, working with the kids, the youth, being a visible face. I was assistant football commissioner, very active. And those are the things, that will be our constituent base, right? The people that are right here in South Bowie. And so I think that's how I will help, how those past experiences will benefit me as being a part of this city council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Stepp.
Good morning.
Morning.
This question is specific to District 3. The Sears location at Bowie Town Center is closing. The owners of the property are planning a mixed-use development on the site. What are your thoughts on the matter?
It's a great question. So, one of the things I will say this, as part of the Community Recreation Committee, when I saw or learned that the Sears was closing, I thought at first, hey, this is the perfect place for us to build our basketball arena that we've been looking to build. It's right here at the Bowie Town Center. It's the perfect place. It's already a brick and mortar building. We can gut it on the inside. As we continue those conversations, I then start to understand that it's more expensive to rent that space out. The owners of the town center, of course, they want to make more money, and so they're not going to just easily give it away to us as the city council for us to run basketball and concessions in. So I understand that we're doing that mixed development. I think it's a good idea as long as the housing is affordable. What I would like to see with that Sears, I think we need to support whatever's going to bring business back to the Bowie Town Center. I've seen a lot of stores are leaving the area. We're losing money to Crofton. We're losing money to the new, not Woodlawn, where what's the name of the rest of the store that's over there? Home Depot, off of 197. We're losing money. The Wegmans over there. Yeah. We're losing money to Crofton, we're losing money to Landover. And so I think building a new mixed use, as long as the housing is affordable, and we bring in newer stores, popular brands, and rebuild the town center, I think it's the first step in rebuilding Bowie.
Okay, Mr. Marcos.
Thank you, Mr. Williams, for being here today.
Thank you.
And your interest. My question deals with a little bit of development also. It's a two-part question.
Okay.
How do you feel about going forward with residential and commercial development in Bowie? And what do you think the relationship between the county and Bowie should be with regards to development?
That's a great question. It's similar to the past question. So again, when you look around in Bowie, and I moved here in 2007, I think when I moved here, the Old Navy was here. There was a lot of restaurants. We're losing Ruby Tuesdays. We're not getting a lot of visiting Applebee's. Outback has left and gone to Crofton. And I've seen a lot of growth in Bowie as well. So you see the new complexes across the street from the town center. They just built a new courtyard off of Enterprise and Science Drive. And so again, I agree with the development, residential as well as business, because again, I think Bowie is a great and awesome city. I think whatever we can do to bring business and keep the business here in Bowie, but also serve our residents as well. Again, I want to make sure the housing is affordable. You know, what's the use of bringing in mixed development if half the people who can't afford to live there, right? So let's make it feasible. Let's make it financially attainable. But let's also, again, bring in the newer stores. Let's bring the money back from Crofton. Let's also build things, again, I'm huge for the youth, right? So what are the kids going to get from it, right? And so as long as it's residential and business development supports the youth, and you ask how do we partner as a city and what's the partnership between Bowie and the actual, and the folks that are looking to build again. What are we getting from it? How is it benefiting our youth? You know, what are they doing for us? For example, we talked about the golf course, and that I think we're paying some money for, we own now. And so if we're going to bring in developers, let's develop that, but let's also use that and use some of their money to also build or house a kids golf program. Let's make it quid pro quo, right? Let's make sure we're getting something for the community, bringing the money back in, making sure the parents can afford it. But it's all about the youth, because the youth, that's who's going to support Bowie as we get older, right? Mm-hmm.
Dr. Trout.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Mr. Williams, for applying. We really appreciate you doing so. My question is, what do you think is the most important issue in Bowie, and how do you plan to make improvements?
Great question. I think, again, I'll go back to, it's a pattern here in the questions, and my answer is consistent with that pattern. I think it's bringing back business, new business to Bowie. Again, we lost the Ruby Tuesday. I'm not sure why. We almost have more banks in Bowie now than we have restaurants and other things, right? I said we're building a new Navy credit union right across from me, but we're losing restaurants. If you look at the town center, where are the stores? You know, the stores are empty. Everyone, again, is going to Crofton, going to Wegmans. And so that's the biggest issue, because I have to be honest with you. Bowie, as it relates to parks and recreation, the fields, the facilities, the access, awesome. Allen Pond Park, awesome. Best in Maryland. The school system, Northview Elementary School, awesome school, awesome administration. I know there's some things that need to be done at Tasker, and you guys are planning to do that. So I don't think there's an issue with the school system. Parks and Recs is top. Again, it's bringing the businesses back to Bowie to put the money back into Bowie. And I'm sorry, and I need to answer, what do I plan to do with that? Or how do I plan to assist in that? If I am so fortunate to become a temporary council member, I will work with you guys to identify a strategic plan. Again, that's my background, is process improvement, strategic planning, business transformation. I will leverage my skill set to help you guys look at the new proposals for business development residential for the area, make sure that all the proposals that are coming down the pipeline align to the strategic goals and vision of what the council wants to do and what the mayor wants to do for the city of Bowie. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Mr. Williams, for coming out today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. HU.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right, okay. It's my opinion that local government is the most important level of government. Explain why you either agree with my opinion or disagree.
Well, it all starts right here at the roots, right? It's the grassroots effort. You know, oftentimes you see what's going on in the world and in the country today. And there are a lot of upset folks for various reasons. But the key is we're not getting and supporting and voting at our local level. Making sure it starts right here in our city, in our town. Again, if I was to mention, I'm from small, rural South Carolina. Everyone knows everyone. But again, it takes the city council, the school board, all working together to help improve. It starts at the bottom. You can't impact change from the top and trying to push it down. It has to start from the bottom. And again, from my business background, again, I do business transformation, I do process improvement. Again, when I go and tell a client, when I talk to a CEO, or a CIO, or CFO, I start looking at his processes from the bottom and help him aligning and changing from that beginning. And the local government is the bottom, it's the closest to our base and constituents. And so I think it's the most important place to start.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming by this morning. Is there a last thought that you would like to leave with us?
Again, thank you, sir, and sirs, for giving me this opportunity to interview with you guys for this very important position. Again, I'm a resident of Bowie. I love Bowie. I'm committed to Bowie. My kids are here, and they're going to be here for a while. They're 6 and 10. So, you know, my role in asking for this role, or my goal, is to help make the city better for them, my neighbors, and their friends. One of the key things here is I want to take away as well. I know this is a temporary role, but I would like to say I would run for this seat again when it's time to elect. I am electable, regardless of my cold and my runny eyes today. You know, I have a strong base here in the Bowie Committee. Again, I do a lot of work within the community. My background and my experience from a professional standpoint make me an ideal candidate to bring you a different way of thinking and way to align strategic planning and transformation. So I'm an electable, likable guy. And I try to have a sense of humor, and I think I'll be a great asset to the city council.
All right, well, thank you very much. Just so you know, that we will be concluding working here most of the day today.
Okay.
And then we have 2 more sessions, Tuesday night and Wednesday night. So if people approach you about the questions and stuff, I suggest that you keep that to yourself.
Well, we'll do.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming in. Mr. Williams, good to see you again.
Thank you. Nice to see you as well. If you guys have any follow-up questions, please feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
Thank you.